Welcome to my channel Valuable Coins, All World. If you've ever wondered if those old coins you have lying around could be worth a fortune, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into some of the rarest US coins, revealing their jaw-dropping values that will leave you amazed. Stick with us till the end. You won't want to miss what these hidden treasures could be worth. Let's get started. Top 1. There's a coin sitting quietly in drawers, tucked away in piggy banks, and even forgotten in old jars around the house that could change someone's life. A simple, humble penny. But not just any penny. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1966 Lincoln 1-cent coin. It might not look like much at first glance, but the secrets it holds and the value it carries will blow your mind. Now, if you're thinking, it's just a penny, what could possibly make it valuable? You're not alone. Most of us have probably walked past a penny on the sidewalk and didn't bother to pick it up. But this 1-cent coin has become a hidden treasure in the eyes of collectors, and its story begins more than half a century ago. Let's take it back to 1966. The United States was in the midst of transformation, politically, socially, and culturally. While all this change was taking place, the U.S. Mint was still producing the Lincoln penny, a coin first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. His portrait was the first of any U.S. president to appear on a circulating coin, and his legacy lives on through this small copper coin. The 1966 Lincoln cent might not seem different at first. It was struck in bronze, which is made up of 95% copper and 5% zinc. Its diameter is a familiar 19 millimeters, and it weighs 3.11 grams. On the front, or the obverse side, we have the classic right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Above him is the phrase, "In God We Trust." To the left is the word liberty, and to the right, the date, 1966. On the reverse, we see the Lincoln Memorial, with the words United States of America curved across the top and the motto, E Pluribus Unum, just beneath it. Below the memorial is the coin's denomination, clearly marked 1 cent. Pretty standard design, right? But what makes this coin so interesting isn't just the design. It's the rarity, the errors, the variations, and the sheer mystery that surrounds certain 1966 pennies. You see, during the mid-1960s, the U.S. Mint was under pressure. There had been a coin shortage, and as a result, the Mint temporarily suspended putting mint marks on coins from 1965 to 1967. That means you won't find a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco on any penny minted in 1966. All the pennies from that year look pretty much the same on the surface, but coin collectors know how to look deeper. Some 1966 Lincoln cents have minting errors or unique characteristics that make them extremely valuable. We're talking doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and even planchet errors. These are all factors that can turn a regular penny into a rare gem worth a fortune. Imagine spotting one of these coins in your collection and realizing you've been holding a piece of history, a treasure that collectors around the world are eager to pay thousands for. Let's talk about doubled dies. This happens when the coin die, the stamp that imprints the design onto the coin, strikes the blank coin more than once, slightly off each time. This creates a doubled image, most often visible on the date, lettering, or even Lincoln's profile. These kinds of errors are highly prized by collectors because they're so rare and difficult to spot. Then there are off-center strikes, where the design is not properly aligned on the coin, leaving a crescent of blank space. It's a clear error, and the more dramatic the misalignment, the more valuable the coin becomes. There are also cases where the coin was struck on the wrong metal planchet, meaning it doesn't have the right weight or color. These are incredibly rare and valuable, but beyond errors, there's another reason the 1966 Lincoln penny has captured the attention of collectors and investors. Its increasing value over time. In the world of coin collecting, value is often determined by a coin's rarity, condition, and demand. And this particular year, with its no-mint mark policy and unique error possibilities, stands out. Most circulated 1966 pennies are only worth face value, maybe a few cents more if they're in great shape. But there are certain examples, especially those in pristine, uncirculated condition or with rare minting flaws, that have sold for jaw-dropping amounts. These are the coins that get certified, graded, and auctioned off for thousands of dollars. Now, Let's imagine finding one of these coins in near-perfect condition, with a sharp strike, full details, and that beautiful original copper luster. It has no damage, no wear, and it's been carefully preserved for decades. Add a rare doubling or another error, and suddenly, you're not just looking at a coin. You're holding a valuable collectible that has become a legend in the numismatic world. So how much could one of these rare 1966 Lincoln pennies actually be worth? Well, in a shocking discovery, one specific 1966 Lincoln penny, because of its rarity and condition, was evaluated and sold for an astonishing sum. A single 1-cent coin, just like the ones we pass by without a second thought, reached a record value of $155,000. That's right, 1 cent, one coin, one unbelievable price. Let that sink in. A coin you might have in your home right now could be worth more than a luxury car, more than a down payment on a house, more than most people earn in a year. This is the magic and mystery of coin collecting. It's not just about history or metal or mintage numbers. It's about the possibility that hidden treasures are still out there. So next time you come across an old penny, especially one from 1966, take a closer look. That tiny coin in your hand might just be the key to unlocking a fortune. Top 2. We're diving into one of those rare gems, the 1967 United States Lincoln 1-cent penny. At first glance, it's just a copper coin. But if you stick around, you'll find out why this particular penny has collectors buzzing and how one extraordinary example turned out to be worth an absolute fortune. The Lincoln penny is a cornerstone of American currency. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. The iconic profile of Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner, has remained a constant presence in Americans' pockets for over a century. And while most of these pennies are worth little more than their face value, every once in a while, a special coin slips through the cracks of history and becomes something much greater. The year 1967 was a unique one for the U.S. Mint. Still recovering from the coin shortage of the mid-1960s, the government had taken unusual steps to increase production and ease public concern. One major decision was to temporarily eliminate mint marks from all coins produced between 1965 and 1967. That means no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, just the date, plain and simple. So, every 1967 penny looks very similar, no matter where it was made. But don't let that simplicity fool you. Beneath the surface of some of these coins lies a world of unexpected value. The 1967 Lincoln penny was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing in at 3.11 grams. Its diameter is a modest 19 millimeters, and its familiar obverse features Lincoln's calm, stoic face. Above him, the national motto, "In God We Trust." To the left, the word liberty, and to the right, the all-important date, 1967. Flip the coin, and you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, introduced in 1959 as the reverse design, complete with the words United States of America along the top, E pluribus unum just underneath, and 1 cent at the bottom. But what makes some 1967 pennies stand out isn't just the design, it's what went wrong. Minting errors, rare die varieties, and striking anomalies have turned what should be a common coin into a valuable rarity. That's right, imperfection is where the value lives. The very flaws that made these coins undesirable to the mint are the same features that collectors crave. Let's talk about double dies, one of the most fascinating errors in coinage. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly between strikes, causing a doubling effect on the lettering, numbers, or even Lincoln's profile. If you've got sharp eyes, you might spot the doubling on the date, the word liberty, or even in God We Trust. These coins are incredibly rare and can command serious prices at auctions. Then there are off-center strikes, when the coin blank isn't properly aligned during minting, causing the image to appear shifted or partially missing. The more off-center the strike, the more collectible the coin becomes. And let's not forget about die cracks and cuts, where the metal shows odd lines or missing chunks due to worn-out equipment. Each of these errors is a unique fingerprint, making the coin one of a kind. Another unusual and valuable variety is the wrong planchet error. Sometimes a penny is accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a different coin entirely, like a dime. These coins are lighter, thinner, and sometimes a completely different color. They are extremely rare and highly sought after by numismatists. What really sends the value of a 1967 penny through the roof? though, is condition. Coins that have never been in circulation, known as uncirculated or mint-state coins, are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect specimen. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. A pristine, untouched 1967 penny with sharp details, brilliant luster, and no signs of wear is a treasure. Combine that condition with a rare error, and you're talking about something truly special. Most 1967 pennies are worth only a few cents over face value, maybe $1 or $2 if they're in great shape. But here's where things get truly unbelievable. One particular 1967 Lincoln cent, thanks to its immaculate condition and unique characteristics, shattered expectations and stunned the coin collecting world. At a major auction, this seemingly ordinary penny, this tiny copper coin that once could have bought a gumball, was sold for an extraordinary sum. That single 1-cent coin fetched an astonishing $145,000. Yes, you heard that right. $145,000. For a penny, it's hard to imagine, isn't it? A coin most people wouldn't bother to pick up from the street ends up being worth more than most cars, more than a year's salary, more than what many people dream of saving. But it's real. It happened. And it's a powerful reminder that some of the greatest treasures aren't hidden in locked vaults. They're sitting quietly in pockets, drawers, and jars all over the world, just waiting to be found. So, if you've got an old penny lying around, especially one from 1967, take a closer look. It might just be an unassuming little piece of copper. Or it might be your ticket to an incredible discovery. Check the date, check the condition, look for doubling, off-center strikes, or anything unusual. You never know what you might be holding. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises. And in this world, even the smallest coin can carry a story worth telling and a value beyond imagination. Keep your eyes open, your pockets ready, and your magnifying glass close. Because the next great coin find could be closer than you think. Top 3. Have you ever glanced at a penny and thought, it's just 1 cent? What's the big deal? Well, today we're going to flip that idea on its head. Because somewhere out there, mixed among loose change and old jars, lies a tiny coin from 1975 that's causing a stir in the world of coin collectors. It's small, it's copper, it looks ordinary, but the 1975 Lincoln 1-cent penny holds secrets that could be worth far more than you imagine. Some versions of this humble coin have been valued so highly that it shocks even seasoned collectors. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why. The Lincoln penny has been a constant companion in Americans' lives for over a century. First introduced in 1909, this coin was a tribute to President Abraham Lincoln, the man who held the Union together during its darkest days. The penny's design was revolutionary at the time. It was the first circulating American coin to feature a real person, and it quickly became a national symbol of pride, history, and resilience. Fast forward to 1975, and the United States was in a period of transition and reflection. The Vietnam War had recently ended, the Watergate scandal had shaken the government, and the country was preparing to celebrate its bicentennial the following year. Amid all this, the U.S. Mint continued producing the Lincoln cent, striking millions of coins that would go on to fill cash registers, lunchboxes, pockets, and sidewalks all across the country. On the surface, the 1975 penny doesn't seem extraordinary. It was minted in huge numbers. Over 5 billion were struck that year across the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The coin's composition was standard for the time, 95% copper and 5% zinc. It weighed 3.11 grams and measured 19 millimeters in diameter. On the obverse, the classic portrait of Lincoln faced to the right, flanked by the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1975. If the coin was struck in Denver, it also bore a small D mint mark. Turn it over, and you'll see the Lincoln Memorial standing proudly, with United States of America above it, E pluribus unum just below, and 1 cent anchoring the bottom. It was a clean, simple design, one that had become deeply familiar to the American public. But beneath this familiar surface, some 1975 pennies had flaws, quirks, and characteristics that turned them from everyday change into rare and valuable collectibles that eye in the world of numismatics, the study and collection of coins. Errors are gold. Literally. And the 1975 Lincoln penny is no exception. Some of the rarest examples of this coin exhibit minting errors so unusual that they've become the stuff of legend. We're talking about double dies, where the coin's design appears twice, slightly shifted, creating a ghostly, overlapping effect on the text or image. These errors usually happen during the die-making process and are extremely rare, especially in the Lincoln Penny series. Then there are off-center strikes. Picture a coin where the design isn't centered. One side might be blank, or a large crescent of the coin is left untouched by the stamp. These are easy to spot and incredibly desirable for collectors, especially when the date remains visible. There's also something called a clipped planchet, where a portion of the coin is literally missing due to a misfeed of the blank metal disc before striking. These odd-looking coins draw a ton of attention at auctions. Another fascinating and valuable mistake is the wrong planchet error. Imagine a penny that's accidentally struck on a dime blank. It would be the wrong weight, a different thickness, and possibly even a different metal composition. These rare misfires by the mint create coins that are unique, and uniqueness is what collectors are always hunting for. But it's not just the errors that give the 1975 Lincoln penny its value. It's also the condition. Most coins go through a lifetime of wear and tear, rubbing against other coins, dropping on pavement, surviving years in circulation. But a select few somehow manage to survive in near-perfect condition. These coins are known as mint state or uncirculated coins, and they are graded on a scale from 1 to 70 by experts. A coin graded MS 65 or higher is considered exceptional. Add an error to that grade, and the value skyrockets. Now here's where things get really exciting. While most 1975 pennies are still only worth a few cents, especially if they've been circulating for years, there are a few rare examples that stand far above the rest. These are the coins that have been preserved with care, struck with sharp detail, or feature rare and bizarre errors. These are the coins that make collectors' hearts race. And one such 1975 Lincoln penny, in remarkable condition and bearing one of these prized minting errors, made headlines when it went up for auction, against all odds, and defying every expectation. A single 1975 Lincoln cent, because of its outstanding quality and ultra-rare characteristics, was valued at a truly jaw-dropping amount. That tiny piece of copper, the kind of coin people often leave behind in convenience store trays, was sold for an astonishing $115,000. Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent, one coin, $115,000 that it's almost surreal to imagine. Something so small, so seemingly insignificant, turned out to be a treasure trove hiding in plain sight. It's a reminder that value doesn't always look flashy or expensive. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it jingles in your pocket. Sometimes it's a 1975 penny with a story to tell. So if you've got a jar full of old coins sitting somewhere in your house, now might be the perfect time to take a closer look. Check the date. Look for unusual marks, strange doubling, or odd shapes. Inspect the coin's condition. Does it still shine? Are the details sharp? Because you never know. The next life-changing discovery might just be sitting in the palm of your hand. Coin collecting isn't just about metal and numbers. It's about history, mystery, and the thrill of discovery. And the 1975 Lincoln 1-cent penny proves that even the most ordinary things can turn out to be extraordinary. Thanks for watching. And remember, that next penny you pick up off the ground might just be worth more than gold.